What is up, dudes and lady dudes? Welcome back to Just Nuts, guys. Today we've got another deck profile. This time we're looking at GOUKI. This is a deck that I looked at as soon as it came out. Like originally when it came out, I thought it was very, very cool. But then very, very shortly after, I pretty much learned that it was like a crazy, insane meta combo deck. And from that point on, I wasn't that big of a fan of it. But now I think the deck has landed in a pretty cool place where it's still a combo deck, but it still does some cool things. You're not comboing into like an insane million negate board. You're not trying to just lock your opponent out of the game, extra link them and all that stuff. You're kind of setting up a board with like, it could have negates, it could have an IP setup, but also it's kind of like Power Load Ogre Turbo, because Power Load Ogre is like the newest towers, like the closest thing to an actual towers we've seen in a while. Which is really cool, and it's really easy to make. It takes any warrior monster, so it could actually be played in other decks too. But yeah, that's kind of what the focus of the deck is. It's a cool combo deck that can play hand traps. And yeah, without further ado, I say we just jump right into things. All right. So starting off with the GOUKI lineup, we're on 3 copies of Suprax. It's probably the best one because if you just open this guy with any other GOUKI monster, you've got combo, 3 copies of Twist Cobra, 3 copies of Headbat. These are the only 3 ofs you play. I don't even know. I don't even think you need 3 Twist Cobra. I just like Twist Cobra. Its effect can come up to out-like certain things. Other than that, though, Headbat is, in my opinion, a must-have at 3 just because we play a hefty number of GOUKI monsters, so you just want to open this card because this card can allow you like an extender to allow you to play through hand traps or just get to combo anyway, because to get to combo you just need any 2 warriors on the field as long as one of them is a GOUKI. So if you just had any other normal summon and like 2 GOUKIs, you could just get this guy on the board, which is can get you there, right? So that is it for the 3 ofs. For the rest of the GOUKI stuff, we're on 1 copy of GOUKI Iron Claw, 2 copies of Guts, 1 copy of Octo Stretch, and 1 copy of Scorpio. Some people play Bear Hug, but one thing I found is that Bear Hug's just like a huge ass brick. So what I did is I decided to play Iron Claw, because if you do draw Iron Claw, it's still a new name and it still has that sent to graveyard, search any GOUKI card from deck to hand, but it's just normal summonable. So if you open it with Junk Forward, if you open it with Fire Flint Lady and not any other extenders or anything, like that can still get you there, whereas Bear Hug would just be stuck in the hand in those situations. So I didn't want to worry too much on that end. So yeah, this is pretty good. But Scorpio is the worst one, but you need him. You just need names, and he can technically be normal summoned on that first turn. I actually like Guts. His defense effect can actually work as like pretty good for you, like sometimes, like randomly. I don't know, it's weird. It can come up to like stonewall people that thought they were just going to run you over by battle. All right, which takes us to our other warrior extenders. Like I said before, 3 Fire Flint Lady, 2 Junk Forward. One thing I'll say about Junk Forward, this could easily be Super Quantum Red Layer, because he's actually a little better just like for the genericism of like where the metagame is right now, where if your opponent has like the Herald Arclight setup, Herald Borreload Savage setup, you could, if you had Red Layer would just summon itself and beat over the Herald without even using your normal summon, whereas Jump Forward can't get over the Herald. So it's a little bit better just in that regard, not having to deal with that negate just as 1 card, and it doesn't take your normal. It's up to you though. I just don't have Red Layer, so I definitely would consider playing Red Layer over Junk Forward, but Junk Forward can be normal summoned as well, so it can come up in like weird situations where that's like nicer than the Red Layer. But yeah, that is it for the other warrior extenders. If you want to call it a brick, I guess you could, but if you still have combo, it doesn't really change anything. We play 1 copy of Codebreaker 0 Day. This is a really cool card. You'll see how it comes up in the extra deck, and I can even show you a quick combo tutorial too, if we want to. So yeah, Codebreaker 0 Day, he's really cool. Which takes us to our hand trap lineup. The rest of our monsters here are 3 Ash, 2 Veiler, 2 Ogre, 2 Crow, and we play 3 impermanents, so we're on 11 hand traps total. I felt like in a 40 card deck that's pretty good, especially where the meta is. We're like at Emancipator. I still believe at this point Synchro Eldritch is the best version of Eldritch, as well as like Infernoble Knights and stuff. They're all pretty good to just keep those decks at bay. Moving on to the spells, these are mostly just like extenders, good cards. GOUKI Rematch, this card's insane. For the grind game, this card's insane. It's part of your combo. Reborn's 2 monsters. It's a +1, so it's just insane, and it's amazingly searchable. You search 2 out of your combo because you search 1 to use that turn and 1 to have for next turn as a follow-up. One Rota, this is the best card in the deck because it just, if you have a GOUKI but no extender, boom, extender. If you have an extender but no GOUKIs, boom, here's a GOUKI. Like, it just doesn't matter. This card's so good, it allows you to pretty much do combo just by opening it by itself. All you have to do is have any other card, any of like 20 cards in your hand, and you can go. One copy of Monster Reborn just allows you to play through certain disruption, and as the duel goes on, this card's actually really nice, so it's a pretty cool card. 1-for-1, we do play level 1 GOUKI, so again, this can allow you, this can just be an extender, as well as just let you play through disruption sometimes. If you open like a monster hand with this, like, that could totally get it done, so pretty cool. For the equips for I Sold, we play 1 Living Fossil and 1 Divine Sword Phoenix Blade. You're always sending 1 equip off of this, almost always. Like, there's very specific situations where you wouldn't be. Other than that, though, if you draw the Phoenix Blade, you still have Living Fossil in the deck. If you draw a Living Fossil, it's a Monster Reborn, so, like, who cares, right? And then other than that, like, Phoenix Blade is just amazing to just keep recycling, so that way if you ever have to make, like, a Nightmare Link play, like, boom, you have just free discard fodder always, which is really cool as well. Alright, and that takes us to our last card in the deck, 3 Imperm. I love this card. In my opinion, this and Gamma are like the 2 best hand traps in the game. This doesn't get stopped by Guardian. This doesn't get stopped by like... it only gets stopped by stuff that sets up like Omni Negates, but not stuff like Appaloosa, or if anybody can get to cards like that before the 5th summon, it doesn't stop this from negating something. So I like this hand trap. It's my favorite hand trap in the game, and has been for a while. So 40 cards in the main. We're not messing around with anything here. This is a deck where you need 2 card combos. There are no 1 card combos, so we're just focusing on that. I also thought about playing something like the Neo Space Connector package and stuff, just because it does like have the bonus of ripping cards out of the hand, and it's 1 card combo, but it's just a little clunky. Like, a lot of the GOUKI monsters want to be normal summoned, so like, I just felt like you would just end up drawing Connector with like a bunch of GOUKIs all pretty often, and that's not really what I was trying to do. So yeah, that's my main deck, trying to keep it a little more pure, which takes us to the extra. Obviously, we start with I Sold. 2 of them is correct to me. 1 is going to fetch a hand trap, and hand traps are super heavy in the meta right now. Everybody's playing like 10 plus hand traps in almost every deck, so you want to be able to bait out a hand trap or 2 off of this girl, and then the second one maybe next turn after you've tried to play a little bit, you've baited, you stopped your opponent, can get you the combo afterwards. But amazing card. It's literally needle fiber. People just don't realize how good it is. It's just only good in warrior decks. For the GOUKI package, I'm on 1 GOUKI Heal Ogre, 1 GOUKI Thunder Ogre, and 3 copies of GOUKI the Power Load Ogre. These are the GOUKI monsters you play. Heal Ogre is kind of nice because it has like a weird little negate effect that can be cool, but it does just take 2 GOUKIs. So just going into this sometimes with 2 GOUKIs just gets you like a ton of searches. And also sometimes you realize you're in a situation where like if my opponent like imperms the I Sold, I lose. So you can make a play if you have 2 GOUKIs to go into him, get searches, and actually like do plays with him without going into a single monster that you just like lose if it gets impermed on. So you can play around like specific like things like that with this card. Power Ogre, he's part of like, if you do a specific combo line through Heal Ogre, he's part of it, giving you, because you can search GOUKIs, but you can't always get him out of the hand because you can use Headbat's effect to get it out of the hand. But once you've done that, none of the other GOUKIs like actually get themselves out of the hand. So he gives you an additional normal summon, which is pretty cool. And then you just link him off so your opponent doesn't get the normal summon either. So pretty cool card. And then Power Load Ogre. This guy is the nuts. This guy, if you don't know what he does, he has a multitude of different effects. First and foremost, he gains attack equal to the number of the combined link rating of all other link monsters you control. So usually you end on him, another link 4, whether it's a second Power Load Ogre or an Appaloosa, and a link 2. So they're always like 4,000 when you make like your standard combo board. So if you ended on 2, they'd be 4,000, 4,000, both towers, both unaffected by everything. And for a lot of decks, that's just game. Like, it's really, really hard for them to beat. But yeah, insane card. Other than that, his last effect is actually pretty cool too, where he can tribute a GOUKI Link monster. It can be himself, it can be another one, and then you can target and destroy that many cards on the field. I think it targets, right? And yeah, so targets, but it's any card on the field. Just pop up to 4 cards if it tributes itself or another one. Or you could just make the heal ogre the link 2 and then pop 2 cards. Still pretty nasty effect, like combined on the fact that it's like a towers and it gets huge. Very, very strong card, and that card can just win you duels. There are decks like Altergeist that literally just like don't have an out. If they didn't judgment him or strike him on summon, they just like can't beat him. So it's crazy. All right, then on for the Codebreaker package, we have these 2 guys. These cards are pretty cool. This card is really cool because all you do is you make him, he takes any 2 effect monsters, but if he's co-linked when he's summoned, he can summon a Codebreaker monster straight from the deck. So you summon 0 Day right next to him, then you link those 2 into this guy and summon him so that he's co-linked in the same spot that this was in, and then he'll reborn 2 Codebreaker monsters from the grave. So then literally like 2 materials essentially just turned into 6 materials for you, which is actually insane. Other than that, they have some bonus effects. This guy, if he's destroyed, it's like during the end phase, if he's destroyed by an opponent's card effect or something, he can just like reborn himself. But then he's banished when he leaves the field. But that's kind of cool. It's 2300, beater. And then you have Virus Berserker. He says once per turn you can just target spell and traps your opponent controls up to the number of link monsters that are linked, I think. Approaches up to the number of linked Codebreaker monsters on the field. So that's usually at least like 2 to 3. And so you just like pop cards. You just get like free back row pops. Like actually just wipe a whole back row. So pretty nasty. It's a really cool combo that allows you to just get that link material. And they're also warriors, so they can go into a power load ogre, which is really nice. And then for some generic stuff that could come up, 1 IP Masquerena, Nightmare package. Not much to say here. Like, you're playing Unicorn. I had an extra slot in the deck. I decided to throw IP in there just because I thought it could come up. And you can actually change your board to end on like whatever you want. It can be any kind of combination of like IP, Appaloosa, and a Power Load Ogre, and then plus the like Codebreaker Swordsman, Virus Swordsman, I think is his name. Yeah. So it's either like IP Appaloosa Virus, Appaloosa Powerload Virus, Powerload Virus, or IP Powerload Virus. Like, so there's a lot of different combinations depending on the deck you're playing against. You can adjust things. If Appaloosa is not particularly good versus the deck, don't make it. If Powerload's just too good versus the deck, make 2. Say, even if you find the 1 out to 1 of these, I've got a second one. So go after him, trying out him too. All right, and then the last 2 cards in our deck. This is the only proxy I have. I just don't have an Appaloosa yet. The tins are out, though, so I'll probably get an Appaloosa pretty soon. And Trisbana. Just a cool card. Like, sometimes you can just, like, link into this and then just, extend by, like, using your GOUKI Rematch to just reborn something to its zone, wipe a whole set of back row, and then just go to town. Something like Eldritch is particularly good against if they had a turn where they're set, like, 2 back row on, like, on a turn, like, you just get to make this and then wipe them all, banish them all, and that just like cuts them off of their engine. So it's pretty nasty. And then Oppo, like I said, it's just part of your boards. You just, it can be. It just can end up being like one of the ending pieces of your boards. So yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. That is the whole deck profile for you here. I guess I can show you a quick combo tutorial if I can fix this camera a little bit, if I can pull it back a little bit. Okay. All right, I'm going to try and do this for you guys. I'm going to try and do this real quick for you. I don't even have my math the right way, so just bear with me, all right? We're going to put any GOUKI monster plus any non-GOUKI monster. Let's just say Fire, Flint, and Suprex, okay? So here's how things are going to go, okay? You are going to normal summon your Suprex up here. Well, let's just say these are whatever. It'll just show you. 1 GOUKI Suprex, then you're going to special the Fire, Flint lady. We're going to link them off with the graveyard over here. Oh, put it, I don't know, right here. And then to link into our Isolde. Now that's going to trigger GOUKI Suprex, but you could actually chain block that with Isolde. Let's say we're not getting hit with a hand trap this time around, so then we can just grab, well, no. We're going to grab, I always grab Scorpio off of the Isolde because it's locked out of being summoned or activating its effects, but that's not what we're searching it for. We're just searching it to be able to send off of Headbat, and that's like literally it. So yeah, next up we're going to go Headbat, we're going to use Isolde's effect, sending our Divine Sword Phoenix Blade, let me find that, there we go, to summon our GOUKI Guts from the deck. right? There's that. And then we can use Headbat because now we have a GOUKI on the field. So we use Headbat, sending the Scorpio, targeting the guts so that it can summon itself in defense mode and buff the guts. But that really doesn't matter at all. From here, we're going to link into Appaloosa. And I believe that is 5 summons. Yeah, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So unfortunately, Appaloosa is the 6th summon, but it is what it is. Like this isn't nearly as good as a combo deck as it was before. So we'll summon the Appaloosa. Keep in mind this is pointing directly down. That's about the main thing that's important here, which will then trigger our guts and our Headbat to be able to get 2 more searches, which will be pretty simple here. We're just going to get 2 rematches, not getting cheeky or anything here. One is going to be for this turn, one is a follow-up that's very strong for next turn. So we'll use the rematch. Reborning anything, it literally doesn't matter at this point. We're not doing any more searches, so let's just say we go Guts and Suprex, which will then be immediately linked into a Codebreaker Virus Swordsman. Keep in mind this needs to be directly under the Appaloosa because when we do this, he's going to trigger to get us a special summon straight from the deck of our Codebreaker 0 Day. Now from here we can link these 2 into our other Codebreaker link monster, our Berserker, our Virus Berserker. So now he's co-linked as well. You want to put him in the exact same zone. We're going to trigger him, which will then be able to reborn 2 Codebreaker monsters from graveyard. Go blam blam, and then from here we can take him and the 0 Day into our Power Load Ogre, and that will conclude our board. One more thing you can do is you could just banish like the Scorpio and the Fireflint Lady. They won't come up probably for the rest of the duel, and just add the Phoenix Blade back to your hand. So you use 2 cards to go combo, but look at this. You literally ended with 2 cards still in hand. It literally didn't matter. It was so essentially a 0-card combo, but you ended with a Towers that's 4,000 attack, just a 2,300 beater that floats if your opponent has to add it with a card effect, and an Appaloosa with 3 negates. Now it's not insane. It's not an insane board, but keep in mind you also had 3 cards in hand. We're playing 11 hand traps in the main. So you could easily have 2, even 3 hand traps in your hand to also add on to the Appaloosa disruptions. And even if they out this situation, you at least have a rematch guaranteed for next turn, which means, yeah, we have combo again. You know, just do the same thing. Just go into more Power Load Ogres, and especially in a mid to late game when your opponent's resources are depleted, they just can't out a card like this. They just can't. So, yeah, that's going to do it for me here, guys. I think that's pretty much it. Hopefully the combo was like nice and simple for you. It's really not that crazy. It literally just goes like you go I sold, taking a GOUKI and a non-GOUKI monster, you just go I sold, then you go Appaloosa, and then you just go through the Codebreaker package, and that'll just give you material to make Power Load and end on like the Virus Swordsman as well. So it's a really, really cool combo deck. I like combo decks that are like interesting and different. It's not just go make the craziest combo board you can. It's not a million negates. I really, really like that in my combo decks if I'm going to play them at all, even though they're not my specialty by any means. But yeah, this is a cool one in my opinion. As always, guys, I'm going to leave it off here by saying I'm no GOUKI player. If you have any suggestions for me, throw it down below. I'd love to hear them. I'd love to test out other things or hear what you guys have been playing, as always. So thank you so much. Subscribe to the channel if you want to see more just deck profiles from me in the future, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.